Welcome to Remembering Icons, where Karen helps keep the memory of extraordinary lives alive with honor and appreciation. This channel is devoted to celebrating legendary figures from film, music, sports, and culture whose talent and influence touched countless people. Through every tribute, we reflect on their journey, honor their achievements, and preserve the legacy they left for the world. Fernando Valenzuela, affectionately known as El Toro, was a transformative figure in baseball whose influence went far beyond the field. Born on November 1, 1960, in Mexico, he rose from modest beginnings to become a central figure for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the early 1980s, capturing the imagination of fans across the United States and Latin America. His breakout moment came in 1981 when he led a wave of excitement famously called Fernando Mania. That year, he achieved a rare and remarkable double honor by winning both the Rookie of the Year and Cy Young Award, while also helping the Dodgers secure a World Series championship. His success instantly made him one of the most celebrated players of his era. Valenzuela was known for his distinctive pitching style, including his signature upward gaze, unconventional windup, and effective screwball that often left batters struggling to predict his throws. Between 1981 and 1986, he remained a dominant presence in the league and earned multiple All-Star selections, solidifying his reputation as one of baseball's most consistent pitchers. Even after injuries affected his career, he continued to contribute to the sport with different teams and later returned to play in Mexico. Following his retirement, he stayed connected to baseball as a broadcaster, sharing his experience with new generations of fans. His passing was attributed to health complications, and his legacy continues to be remembered for his talent, resilience, and cultural impact. Jack Revel, known widely as Jack Master, was a major figure in modern electronic music and a defining voice in UK club culture. Born on the 11th of January 1986 in Scotland, he built his reputation not through mainstream hits, but through an exceptional ability to understand dance floors in real time, blending house, techno, disco, grime, and other genres into fluid, unexpected journeys. His approach to DJing was often described as deeply instinctive yet carefully shaped, reflecting years of digging through records and developing a broad musical vocabulary. He also played an important role in shaping the Glasgow club scene as a co-founder of the influential Numbers Collective, which became known for supporting emerging talent and encouraging a more experimental direction in electronic music. Alongside this, he contributed to several independent projects and labels that helped strengthen his presence in underground music circles. His influence was frequently compared to other respected DJs of his era, who treated mixing as a creative art form rather than just performance. Jack Revel passed away at the age of 38, and while details surrounding his death were not fully confirmed publicly, it was widely reported that he had been facing health complications in the period leading up to it. He is remembered for his energy, originality, and lasting impact on modern DJ culture. Jane Lapotaire passed away at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy defined by elegance, emotional depth, and a rare, quiet brilliance in performance. Widely respected for her work on stage, she earned both a Tony Award and an Olivier Award for her powerful portrayal in the stage production Piaf, a role that showcased her ability to fully inhabit complex emotional worlds while maintaining a deeply human touch. Her career extended far beyond theater. On television, she reached wide audiences with appearances in acclaimed series such as The Crown and Downton Abbey, where her presence added refinement and emotional weight to every scene she entered. She also appeared in film, including the historical drama Lady Jane, further demonstrating her versatility across different storytelling formats. What set Lapotaire apart was not only her technical skill, but the sincerity she brought to every role. Whether on stage or screen, she had a way of making performances feel intimate and truthful, drawing audiences into the emotional core of her characters without excess or artifice. Her work continues to resonate as an example of disciplined craft combined with natural grace, leaving behind a lasting influence on theater and screen acting. Jon Landau was a highly influential Hollywood producer, best known for his long-standing collaboration with filmmaker James Cameron. Born on July 23, 1960, he built a career that played a major role in shaping modern blockbuster cinema. Through his creative partnership with Cameron, he helped produce some of the most successful films in history, including Titanic, Avatar, and Avatar: The Way of Water, all of which became global cultural phenomena and set new benchmarks for visual storytelling and box office success. His involvement in these projects went beyond production management, as he was deeply engaged in supporting the creative vision, scale, and emotional impact of each film. Outside of the Avatar franchise, Landau contributed to a variety of notable productions such as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Dick Tracy, Solaris, and Alita: Battle Angel, demonstrating his range across different genres and styles of filmmaking. He was widely respected in the industry for his calm leadership, collaborative approach, and strong belief in the power of storytelling to connect audiences worldwide. He passed away at the age of 63 after a battle with cancer, and his death was met with widespread tributes from colleagues who remembered him for his creativity, kindness, and lasting influence on contemporary cinema. Mel Schilling is an Australian relationship expert and television personality best known for her role on Married at First Sight, where she has spent years helping participants navigate the emotional challenges of building relationships with someone they have just met. She is widely recognized for her calm communication style and ability to guide difficult conversations with empathy and clarity, often helping people reflect on their choices and emotional patterns during high-pressure situations on the show. Beyond her television work, she has built a career in psychology and coaching, focusing on relationships, personal development, and communication skills, which has made her a trusted voice in her field. Viewers often connect with her not just for advice, but for the grounded and reassuring way she delivers it, especially when participants are facing conflict or uncertainty. Her presence on screen has contributed to making relationship counseling more visible to mainstream audiences, showing that emotional growth can come from difficult experiences. Alongside her media work, she has also spoken publicly about mental health, self-awareness, and the importance of respectful communication in relationships. She continues to be active in her professional work, remaining a familiar and respected figure in reality television and relationship coaching, rather than a figure of loss or passing. Mike Tyson's story begins not in glory, but in absence, in the cracked silence of Brownsville, Brooklyn, where survival shaped identity long before ambition ever could. Born in 1966, he entered a world already marked by abandonment. His father disappeared so completely that he became little more than a blank space in memory, and his mother struggled to keep the family afloat in neighborhoods where safety was never guaranteed. Brownsville in the 1970s was not a backdrop, but an active force. Sirens at night, broken glass on sidewalks, and the constant tension of uncertainty. As a child, Tyson was small, soft-spoken, and frequently targeted. His lisp and oversized glasses made him an easy mark, and humiliation became routine. Yet within that cruelty, something hardened. He learned early that vulnerability invited harm, and silence offered no protection. The streets replaced family structure with rules of their own. Respect had to be taken, not given. In isolation, he found pigeons on rooftops, fragile companions that offered rare comfort. They became symbols of control in a life where he had none. But even that sanctuary was shattered when a neighborhood boy killed one of his birds. That moment didn't just hurt him, it reshaped him. Something inside Tyson shifted toward a single purpose. Never again would he feel powerless in a world that took without mercy. The streets that raised a fighter. After the loss of his pigeons, Tyson drifted deeper into the structure of the streets, where belonging came through toughness rather than affection. By early adolescence, he was running with local groups who offered identity in exchange for obedience. These environments were not nurturing, but they were consistent. And consistency was something his childhood rarely provided. Crime became less an act of rebellion and more a form of survival. By 13, he had already accumulated dozens of run-ins with authorities. Violence was no longer something he feared. It became a language he understood. Every confrontation reinforced a belief that softness led to suffering. Eventually, a small theft became the turning point that pushed him into the juvenile system. Sent away from Brooklyn, he entered a correctional environment that stripped away chaos but replaced it with isolation. The absence of familiar streets forced reflection he was not prepared for. Nights were long, silent, and heavy with uncertainty. Yet even in confinement, Tyson's physical power did not go unnoticed. Beneath the anger, observers saw explosive potential. For the first time, authority figures did not define him as a lost cause, but as raw material. That subtle shift in perception would become the first crack in his cycle of destruction, opening the possibility that he could be something other than what the streets had shaped. Cus D'Amato and the first vision of greatness. The encounter with Cus D'Amato changed Tyson's trajectory more than any event before it. D'Amato was not simply a boxing trainer. He was a philosopher of discipline and fear. When he first observed Tyson's controlled aggression in the gym, he didn't see a troubled boy. He saw a future heavyweight champion. Cus spoke to Tyson in a way no one else had. He didn't threaten him or dismiss him. He spoke with certainty about his future, declaring that Tyson could become the youngest heavyweight champion in history. For a boy who had only ever been predicted to fail, this belief was destabilizing in the most powerful way. Training under Cus was not gentle. It was structured, intense, and relentless. Tyson was introduced to early morning runs, defensive drills, and a fighting style built on precision rather than chaos. The peekaboo system demanded discipline and mental control, reshaping his raw aggression into strategy. But beyond technique, Cus offered something deeper: stability. Tyson was given a home environment, a routine, and emotional reinforcement. For the first time, he was not surviving day to day. He was building toward something. The transformation began not in the ring, but in the psychological reconstruction of a boy who had never been told he mattered. The rise of Iron Mike Tyson's professional debut in 1985 marked the beginning of one of boxing's most explosive ascents. At 18, he entered the ring with a presence that unsettled even seasoned fighters. His movements were compact, his timing precise, and his aggression controlled rather than chaotic. Fights ended quickly, often within minutes. Opponents were overwhelmed not just physically, but psychologically. Tyson fought as if every second mattered, as if hesitation itself was a weakness. Victories accumulated at a pace the sport had rarely seen. By 1986, he was dismantling experienced contenders with startling efficiency. Media attention surged, and arenas filled not just to watch boxing, but to witness inevitability. Tyson was becoming less a competitor and more an event. At just 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. The achievement was historic, but the emotional context was more complex. Beneath the belts and headlines was a young man still searching for grounding. Cus D'Amato's absence, after his passing, left a void that victories could not fill. Tyson's rise was not simply athletic dominance, it was the acceleration of a life that had never learned to move slowly. Peak glory and growing shadows. As Tyson unified titles and defeated elite challengers, his dominance became absolute. Opponents often entered the ring already defeated in mindset. His reputation preceded him so strongly that fear became part of his advantage. Yet success brought instability. The guiding structure that Cuss had built began to erode after his death. Those who followed lacked the same philosophical grounding. Tyson was now surrounded by attention, wealth, and influence, but not the same discipline that once anchored him. Fights like those against Trevor Berbick and Michael Spinks cemented his status as a global phenomenon. The 91-second demolition of Spinks became symbolic of his peak, overwhelming, unstoppable, almost mythological. But internally, cracks widened. Tyson began to experience isolation at the top. Everyone wanted something from him: promoters, fans, advisors, but few offered grounding truth. The boy who once needed protection now had none. The higher he climbed, the less stable his foundation became. Victory no longer felt like a rival. It felt like acceleration towards something he could not yet name. Loss, pressure, and the beginning of collapse. The deaths of key figures in Tyson's life marked the beginning of emotional unraveling. Cus D'Amato's passing removed his philosophical anchor. Later, the loss of trusted manager Jimmy Jacobs deepened that instability. Without these stabilizing forces, Tyson entered a phase where external success masked internal fragmentation. Training became inconsistent, discipline weakened, and distractions multiplied. Fame brought constant access, but not guidance. Personal relationships became strained. Marriage added emotional complexity, while public scrutiny intensified every private struggle. The fighter who once operated with singular focus now existed in competing environments of pressure, expectation, and exhaustion. In the ring, signs of vulnerability began to appear. Opponents who previously fell quickly began lasting longer. Subtle cracks in timing and defense signaled shifts few could yet interpret clearly. Tyson was still winning, but the certainty that once defined him was fading. What had once been unstoppable momentum was slowly becoming instability masked by reputation. The Douglas shock and the fall from invincibility. The loss to Buster Douglas in 1990 marked one of the most shocking upsets in sports history. Tyson entered the fight undefeated and heavily favored. Yet Douglas fought with unexpected resilience, surviving early punishment and gradually asserting control. In the 10th round, Tyson was knocked down, a moment that shattered assumptions about invincibility. The image of him searching for his mouthpiece became symbolic of vulnerability exposed on the world stage. The defeat was not just physical, it was psychological rupture. For the first time, Tyson was forced to confront the reality that dominance could end. Following the loss, instability increased. Training inconsistencies, legal troubles, and personal disarray accumulated. The structure that once supported him had fully dissolved. What followed was not immediate collapse, but a slow descent into fragmentation. The world that once feared him now watched him struggle against forces outside the ring that could not be knocked out. Incarceration and inner reckoning. In 1992, Tyson was convicted and sentenced to prison, marking a complete interruption of his boxing career. The confinement removed spectacle, noise, and external validation, forcing confrontation with himself. Inside prison, Tyson experienced a stark reversal of identity. The most feared man in boxing became an inmate defined by routine and limitation. The absence of fame exposed unresolved emotional layers. During this period, reflection replaced action. Tyson read, trained in isolation, and began reassessing the structure of his life. Without external reinforcement, he began to understand how much of his identity had been constructed around performance rather than stability. Prison did not transform him instantly, but it interrupted his trajectory. It created space, uncomfortable and unchosen, for awareness to emerge. For the first time in years, Tyson was not moving forward. He was forced to pause, return, controversy, and fragmented identity. Tyson's return to boxing in the mid-1990s brought immediate attention, victories, and controversy. Wins over major opponents re-established his presence, but the emotional consistency of his earlier years never fully returned. The rematch with Evander Holyfield became one of the most infamous moments in sports history, resulting in disqualification and global condemnation. It symbolized internal fracture spilling into public view. Financial mismanagement and external pressures compounded instability. Despite earning enormous sums over his career, Tyson eventually faced bankruptcy, reflecting years of unchecked spending and poor financial oversight. The contrast between past dominance and present instability became increasingly visible. Tyson remained powerful physically, but structurally unstable in life outside the ring. His identity was no longer singular. It was divided between legacy, expectation, and personal struggle, bankruptcy, and the quiet rebuilding. By the early 2000s, Tyson's financial collapse forced a reckoning. Declared bankrupt despite earning hundreds of millions, he faced the reality of complete reset. Assets were liquidated, lifestyle reduced, and public perception shifted from fear to sympathy. This period marked the beginning of quiet reconstruction. Tyson stepped away from competition and began engaging in introspection and public storytelling. Speaking became a form of processing, allowing him to articulate experiences previously buried beneath performance. He began acknowledging addiction, emotional trauma, and mismanagement openly. Rather than maintaining the myth of invincibility, he gradually embraced vulnerability. Rebuilding was not dramatic, it was incremental, centered on honesty rather than dominance. For the first time, Tyson's identity was not built on opposition, but reflection, legacy, love, and the man behind the myth. In later years, Tyson's life became less about fighting and more about understanding. Relationships, particularly his marriage to Robin Givens, reflected the complexity of fame intersecting with emotional instability. Love existed alongside pressure, expectation, and unresolved trauma. Tyson's legacy is no longer defined solely by knockouts or titles. It is defined by contrast, immense power alongside profound vulnerability, dominance alongside collapse, fame alongside isolation. At 59, he exists not as the invincible Iron Mike of legend, but as a man who has endured both elevation and erosion. His story is no longer just about victory or defeat. It is about survival through extremes. The fighter, who once sought to never feel powerless again, ultimately discovered that strength is not the absence of vulnerability, but the ability to confront it. His life remains one of the most complex narratives in modern sport, not a straight ascent or decline, but a cycle of rise, fracture, and reconstruction that continues to evolve beyond the ring.